I hope you're ready because I'm about to put you on free game. When you want to stop dealing with third party situations and men who need 100 million women, you want to tap into the energy of a man who respects himself. This might actually just have to become a training that we do. We might need to do a workshop on it because in Love After Loss and Drop the Struggle, we're talking about tapping into the energy of a trustworthy man, which is so good. But this particular mindset shift is like freeing me right now. So let's talk really quickly about me and my own personal life. I don't have sex, not because it's bad or wrong or anything like that, but because what self respect looks like for me means not having sex, but not exactly. Let me just explain. So, as a consequence of my life experience and traumas, I have known since I decided to try to become sexually active in my young adulthood that I needed to feel very safe and secure in order to have sex. Random hookups and men on dating apps who just want to stick it in without having a conversation about STDs or STD tests, or without knowing who you are as a person and without caring about who you are as a person, that never made me feel safe. There are some women who use sex to create or to try to create or to create a false sense of intimacy. I am not that kind of person who can try to use sex to create a sense of closeness, because I am not someone who can have sex without a sense of closeness. I physically cannot. My body is just like, nope, not happening, not interested, not open at all. It's not happening. And it's not something that I ever tried to push myself on, because by the time I decided to be sexually active, it was 2021, I was 22 years old. By the time I really decided, like, okay, yes, I'm going to be sexually active. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to do something casual. I was on the dating apps and I went out with a couple of guys, and of course the option to have sex was there every single time, and I just couldn't do it because I don't know this guy. And I also don't feel safe. And at the time, I still felt really insecure about my body, which is valid. And I have had so many feelings of gratitude towards myself and like towards my insecurities, because now I'm about to turn 27 years old, looking back on the men that I was dating and the men that I was allowing to have access to me. I'm just very grateful that we did not have sex. I just know that I would have regretted it. Not because it's bad or because I'm dirty or anything. It's not about shame. I would not have been happy with that choice. And so I'm grateful that I didn't do that. I am a sentimental person. I am an emotional person. And I need to feel safe in order to have sex. And it's not even like because now I'm thinking about the experiences that I was having in like 2021. It's not even like I'm one of those people that's like, I can never have casual sex because I'm going to develop emotions. Well, first of all, I am going to fall in love, but also I fall in love with everything. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Let's have this conversation. 2.5 seconds. Yes, I am falling in love. Does that mean that I want to get married and have babies? No. It's just a little love. Why are we acting so weird? Why are we acting so weird right now? Oh my God. I remember I was dating this guy very, very briefly. It was a friends with benefits thing. And I was falsely under the impression that when you're having a friends with benefits, you should actually have a friendship with the guy. And, we were like kind of sort of like hooking up. We had like hooked up a little bit, okay? And it was after the fact, and we were like kind of cuddling in his back seat of his car, basically, right? And I was laying my head on his chest, and I could literally feel his chest like radiating. Like his chest was radiating and my chest was radiating. Like both of our chests were like glowing at the same time. And it was just literally fucking insane. And I was like, oh, like, that's really sweet. Just because I had that moment and just because I felt that does not mean that I ever wanted to be in a relationship with him or marry him. He was the perfect friends with benefits guy to have because he didn't have a good job and I wasn't very attracted to him in the face. Like, no offense. He wasn't ugly. He wasn't hideous. He just wasn't the hottest man I've ever seen in my life. He was just perfect for a little friends with benefits. Like, shit. Why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story because I wouldn't necessarily consider myself to be someone who's a prude. But also, after I had that situation, friends with benefits thing, because I didn't really feel like a situationship. I feel like a situationship is when you want a relationship, but they're not giving you a relationship. It was never that. It was someone who I was dating very casually, who wanted to have sex with me. I didn't want to have sex with him until I felt safe and secure with him, and he just like did not want to put in the effort to have a relationship with me or to help me to feel safe and secure so that we could have sex, which is like kind of ridiculous. And anyway, so whatever, we didn't have sex, right? And after that, I like dated one guy, and then after that, I was like, I'm done. I just need to be married. And after that experience, I literally was like, I'm done. I need to be married. That was 2021. I decided I have to get married. And then I have not been sexually active or anything like that with any other man since, because I made up my mind. This is not for me. I don't like this experience. I don't want to hook up with someone who I just met. I don't want to have intimate experiences with men that I don't know. I left hypochondria in 2025. I'm actually doing really good with it now. Like I actually was having a conversation with one of my friends. We have a mastermind together, and I was on the call. I was worried that I was dying because I was, anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. For the most part, we're doing great with no hypochondria in the new year. However, I do have sexual hypochondria. I do have a fear of STDs, and I think it's a healthy fear, and I'm not going to get rid of that. I don't want an STD, and that's fine. You don't have to want an STD, right? That's not a bad thing. So, why was I mentioning this? I went out. I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like that vibe. I don't like casual. I don't like casual. I don't feel turned on or excited by men who do not have boundaries. I don't feel turned on or excited by men who don't have any self-respect. Just because I tell a man that I've never had sex and am a virgin before, why would you believe me? You don't know me. I could be lying. I'm not lying and I'm telling the truth, but I could be lying. And you don't fucking know that. Why do you believe me? I don't like that. I don't. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sometimes something comes out of my mouth and I say, you are a Scorpio. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. 2.5. What are your icks as a Scorpio woman? When a man trusts me too quickly. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But within that very specific context, like, you just believe me when I tell you that I've never had sex before, which is fine because it's not like I would expect a man to be like, suspicious and be like, I don't believe you, you know? But what I mean is, I'm telling you something about myself. You've just met me. We should be having multiple conversations, and over time, you will get to know me and you will understand my character. When I say on this podcast, I've never had sex, you probably believe me. Why? Because if you're a longtime listener of this podcast, you know that I'm a woman who is honest. I will tell things about me, even if they're not the quote unquote most favorable things or aspects of my personality, because I value my honesty and I value my integrity and I value my character. This is something that you know because you spend time with me over time. And I love you so much, but I don't love anybody enough, or I don't love money enough to lie or pretend or perform in order to receive it. I don't have to fake the funk to kick it. I love you a lot, but not so much that I'm going to be afraid that you're going to judge me for my honesty. You don't have to like it. The hood is going to love it. You know what I mean? Like, somebody's always going to buy from me. Someone's always going to want to work with me, and my soulmate clients and my soulmate friends and my soulmate romantic partner is going to see me and understand me and love me and honor me and accept me. So I really don't have anything to hide. I'm not afraid of you rejecting me because of my own personal truth, right? So I'm an honest person. But when I would meet guys, it's just like a thing. Like, even if you believe me that I've never had sex, you don't feel the need to prove to me and show me your clean STD test. I just think it really shows care. It really shows care. If I care about someone and I care about their peace of mind, I'm going to get an STD test. I'm going to show you the STD test. I'm not going to propose sex without an STD test. One of the reasons, something that helps me to decipher between a man that I would have sex with and a man that I would not have sex with is when they propose sex with me and when they have a conversation with me about STDs and STD tests. I feel as though if you as a man feel comfortable enough with me to bring up sexual intercourse, you should feel comfortable enough to bring up STD tests, period, point blank. And if you have a pattern of behavior and you feel so comfortable bringing up sexual intercourse, but I'm the person who has to bring up STD testing, I just don't see you as somebody who's safe with their body. And a man who is not safe with his body is not attractive to me because I'm a hypochondriac. Exactly. And that's what I told her. So I've decided a long time ago in 2021 that I wanted to be married because I wanted to have sex. Is this silly? I decided that I wanted to be married because I wanted to have sex, and the kind of sex that I wanted to have required trust, not just because I needed to feel safe in order to be vulnerable and intimate physically with a man, but also because of the kind of sex that I'm into. You need safety and you need security and you need trust to do the things that I really like to do. We don't have time to talk about it, Diva. We do not have time to talk about it. But anyway, let's move on. So what was I saying? I almost got lost in the kinky sauce. Please, divas, we must stay focused. We must stay focused. Okay, so what am I talking about? I decided that I wanted to be married because I wanted to have sex, and it was becoming abundantly clear to me that I would not be having casual sex with someone who I could have what I needed. It's like, if I need emotional intimacy and closeness and connection, and I need effort and I need all of this, you might as well just get into a fucking relationship. Like, at this point, you might as well just get into a fucking relationship. And I was like, no, you're so right. And then I asked myself what I really wanted, and I was honest about what I actually wanted and what I actually desired. I want to be married. I want to have the kind of sex that you only have in a marriage. I want to have the kind of sex that you only have with someone who you deeply trust. I want to have the kind of sex that is incredibly intimate, and other stuff is just surface level. Or when you're dealing with people who are emotionally unavailable, it's surface level. Emotional availability is depth. Emotional availability is depth. Emotionally unavailable is surface level. I don't want surface level anything. I'm not having an orgasm off of surface level anything. I don't want surface level anything. It doesn't bring me pleasure. So I am someone who wants and needs and requires depth. I am someone who wants and needs and requires intimacy and safety and security. This is something that I value. So I do not get excited just because a man wants to have sex with me. A man wants to have sex with me. I think to myself, of course you do. You see the material. I get it. And if I was you, I'd want to have sex with me too. Yeah. You got good taste, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. A man wants to have sex with me. I say, that makes sense to me. Yeah, that resonates. That resonates with my expectation. Like, I get that. I understand that. But that doesn't move me. That doesn't move me. That doesn't move me at all. Superficial conversation doesn't move me at all. Superficial people don't move me at all. It actually repulses me. I've been thinking about it and reflecting on it. What I want, what I need, what I desire, what I'm creating in my next season of life across everything, right? And my desire, what's coming through so strongly for me, is that I desire genuine, authentic connection. And that genuine, authentic connection comes from, like, depth, you guys. Like, it's insane. Really understanding someone, really seeing someone eye to eye, really having a meeting of the minds. This is not just something that's cool to me. This is not just something that it would be nice for me to have. This is something that I need in every single aspect of life. I'm not just talking about romantically. In my connections, I need a certain level of understanding and a certain level of intelligence and a certain level of, I can't think of the word, a certain level of personal passion and personal drive, and not just ambitious, like to be successful. We don't even have time. I can't describe it in words yet. I'm still understanding it energetically. The way that I can describe it right now is depth. I need depth. And it feels like there is a visceral, like my physical body is rejecting superficial shit. My physical body, when I'm talking with people and having conversations with people, and I'm just like, nope, like this is not, I don't like this. I don't want this. I don't know, because this is not real. I'm having experiences where I'm just interacting with people and I'm saying, this is not real. I don't like that this is not real. And it's not that people are bad people and nobody has to be fucking evil. Nobody has to be the villain. We are beyond that. Everybody does not have to be a bad fucking person just because I'm not vibing with them. Everybody does not have to be the fucking villain. It's not God. This is not that. We do not have to do the Taylor Swiftification of every fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody does not have to be the bad guy. Sometimes they're just not your guy. Sometimes they're just not your person. Sometimes you just don't vibe. Sometimes it's just not giving what it needs to give. And I need depth. I am somebody who needs depth. I don't just want to sit and have a conversation about the prison industrial complex. I want to sit and have a conversation with somebody who has their own thoughts and their own beliefs and their own convictions around the prison industrial complex. I want to have a meeting of the minds. I don't just want to have a conversation about how I want the world to be a better place. I want to sit and have a conversation with somebody who has their own plan, has their own desire, has their own beliefs, has their own thoughts, has their own fucking convictions. I want to be around people who stand for something. Even if sometimes what they stand for, I'm like, I don't know if I agree 110%, but I am feeling so drawn to people who like stand for something lately. And everything else just feels like bullshit to me. And being hit on by men who aren't giving me that genuine, authentic connection, it doesn't feel like anything to me. Thank you, I'm very flattered, I appreciate it, but I'm not interested. I'm not interested in superficial. I'm not interested in someone who just sees me as a body. I'm not interested. I am not interested in someone who is just trying to use sex with as many women as possible to fill this bottomless pit inside of them, when what they really fucking need is therapy. What they really need is counseling. What they really need is a self-help book. Like, what they really fucking need is time with the journal. Less condoms, more journals in 2026, man. Don't use that out of context. I'm a woman who wants substance. I'm a woman who wants to be seen and loved and known and understood. And I'm going to say something. It's going to be controversial. I don't believe that we as human beings have the capacity to have deep, meaningful relationships with a fuck ton of people. Intimacy requires time and it requires conversation. And I'm not saying you can't do it with more than one person or whatever. I'm just saying, like, I am somebody who wants relationships that require and offer time and energy and effort and care. My self-respect doesn't align with casual sex because there's nothing casual about me. I am a woman who is walking in her purpose. I am a woman who finds purpose in everything. My money is purposeful. The reason that I get money, the reason that I make money, the reason that I'm able to stack money, the reason that I go so hard when it comes to my personal money and my personal income, it's purposeful. My business and me scaling my business and me increasing sales in my business, me helping women, me growing and expanding my brand is purposeful. I'm not a casual woman. I'm not a surface level woman. I'm not a surface level person. I am a woman of tremendous depth. And I am a woman who requires depth from others. I'm a woman who desires depth. I want to be in relationships with people who know themselves. I want to be in relationships with people who are opinionated. People that don't know themselves don't have opinions. Superficial people don't have convictions. I want to be around people who are somebody to themselves, you know? I don't have the desire to date 5 different men all at once because that feels overwhelming to me. And I do want depth of connection, and I am somebody who feels depth of connection very quickly. I am somebody who can connect with someone and like sync up with them instantly. And of course, as you continue to get to know them, that intimacy and that closeness builds and that relationship just gets stronger and stronger. But I do feel a soulmate connection immediately. Yes. I do feel God in this Chili's tonight with us. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I do. That's just because I'm a spiritual person. That's just because I'm a sensitive person. That's just because I'm an emotional person. I love love and I love to love. And one thing about me, when it comes to falling in love, I'm going to fucking do that. And that's not a crime. They won't lock you up for that. I checked. So when it comes to the romantic relationship thing, and it comes to the men who need 50-11 women, it's not about them at all. The pivot and the shift in focus is about me, and it's about my desire. I need a man who wants depth of connection the way that I want depth of connection. And the man who wants that depth of connection doesn't need 500 million other women. The man who wants depth of connection is a man who probably wants depth of connection with himself. Deep, meaningful connection with others. You cannot have intimacy with another human being if you don't know yourself. Intimacy is into me, see. I can't give you depth if I've never gone deep within myself. I can't give you depth if I don't reflect within myself. I can't give you depth if I don't think. I can't give you what I don't give me. So I want a man who wants depth of connection. That means I want a man who is willing to reflect and be introspective and to go deep within himself. The man who is willing to be reflective and introspective and go deep within himself is not the man who needs 500 women to fill that bottomless pit, because he will have an awareness of that wound. He will have an awareness of whatever needs to be changed or shifted. Even if he doesn't know exactly what it is, he will know, there's something off here. No matter how many women I sleep with, no matter how many followers I get on Instagram, it's not healing me. I'm not feeling any better. For me, it wasn't relationships. My bottomless pit wasn't men. My bottomless pit was subscribers on YouTube. That first YouTube channel, first she hit 2,000, then she hit 6,000. I decided to leave college. I had about 6,000 followers and it was growing rapidly. By the summer, I had 20,000 subscribers. But I felt like there was something that was missing. No matter how many followers I got, I didn't feel good enough. And so I kept creating a new goalpost. Well, maybe when I hit 10,000, I'll feel better. I'll feel safer. I'll feel more stable. I'll feel okay. I'll feel like my business can do this. I'll feel like I can be successful. I'll feel like I can rely on myself. I'll feel confident. I'll feel better. But I wasn't able to identify any of those emotions. So I was just saying, okay, well, maybe at 10,000, I'll feel something. I was trying to feel, there was a feeling I was trying to get, but I couldn't even name it. I just knew that I didn't have it. It felt like there was like something empty in me. And so I got to 10,000 and that didn't fix it. And I said, well, maybe 12,000, maybe if I got more views. So I got to 12,000 and then I got to 15,000. And then by the time I got to 22,000 and it wasn't fixing me. I wasn't feeling better inside. I'm like, okay, the followers are not going to fix it. There's something going on. The followers are not going to fix it. And that moment, back in 2020, that moment, that's what sparked all of the personal growth and expansion that I have been doing since. Because I didn't understand it at the time. But I was dealing with a whole bunch of shit. There wasn't one thing that I needed. It damn sure wasn't more followers. I needed to like myself and I needed to trust myself. I needed to have a mindset routine. I needed to be able to identify how I felt. I needed to be able to move through my fears and my doubts and my worries. I needed to be able to create an environment of safety and security within myself. I needed to be able to process my emotions so that I could come back to a state of calm. I needed to be able to feel good about myself, regardless of how many subscribers I had on the social medias, regardless of how many views I was getting, because my emotional state was being determined by the views. My emotional state was being determined by the subscribers. God forbid, out of 20,000 subscribers, I lose 4 of them. What did I do? One video gets 10,000 views. I do a new video, new topic. It only gets 1,000 views. I'm not good enough. Now I'm having a life experience where I don't look at the views and I don't look at the subscribers. And I'm kind of starting to think that I overcorrected a little bit. Because I was like, fuck the numbers. Just focusing on me, just focusing on my income, which is really good. I wouldn't not recommend it, but I'm starting to create some balance. I'm asking myself questions about what do I actually want when it comes to subscribers and things like that. Like, what are my goals, like, in my heart? But that's another conversation for another time. I naturally, inside of myself, was like, I'm feeling like shit. And no matter how many subscribers increase, I'm still feeling like shit. I have to do something about this. And that really was an act of self-love. Some of the first acts of self-love that I did in my adult life. Me acknowledging, I feel like shit right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's wrong, but I don't want to feel like this anymore. I'm going to do something different. And it took me down this rabbit hole of identifying my feelings and emotions and so much personal development. I talk about it. I have a podcast. It's Making a Noise. You're listening to it now. These are the mindset shifts that I've had along the way. So when it comes to what I want in a man, I realize for the first time in my life, I've got to ask for something different. I don't just want commitment, even though I would like a ring. I would like a ring. I would like a diamond ring on my wedding finger. I would like a big shiny diamond. 6-carat oval cut from Tiffany or better. You know this. But I've been asking myself this question a lot lately. What do you want? What do you want? Because we all know about the holiday ruby woody. If you don't know. A couple months ago, guy I feel a strong soulmate connection with goes to a holiday function with another woman. There's a photograph. I find out about it in December. Oh my God, my world is shattered. This is so crazy, right? So first was me tending to myself in that situation and checking in with myself and checking in with my relationship with myself. And that looked like me being like, well, I like me and I love me and I'm my preference. And I'll never want to be anybody outside of me. So I'm not envious and wishing that I was another woman because I like me. I don't want to be anybody that's not me. And then it looked like, because we talked about this months and months and months ago, back in like September, where I'm like, I feel like he's giving to other women what I want him to give to me. And yes, my podcast episode is valid and really good. And also, what I want him to give to me is a lot more than an Instagram follow. So I don't really feel that bad about it. What I want from a man is a lot more than a follow on Instagram. I don't really feel that bad about it. And also, healing from that experience of like, I kind of had this feeling, this like fear of like, wow, like he's with another girl, he's with another woman, he's dating another woman, and they're probably talking on FaceTime and they're going on dates and oh my God, are you having sleepovers? Oh, there have been many jokes the entire time. I probably have told a couple jokes in like the podcast episode, but I've been laughing about this the entire time because one thing about me, when it comes to a joke, I'm going to tell it. One thing about me, I'm going to have a laugh. I'm going to have a laugh. I might cry. There will be comedic relief. There always will be that. But anyway. So I'm thinking about this guy and I'm like, wow, like that's so crazy. Going out with other girls, going on dates with other girls. This is fucking insane. And then there's that feeling of jealousy, and healing that feeling of jealousy just looked like, well, I'm sorry, but how good could it have been? How good could it have been? And I'm not there. And I feel that way about every fucking thing. No, I'm not going to have a life experience where I'm looking at something and I'm feeling like, "Oh my god, like they were there and they were having such a great experience and I wasn't there." No, I'm not having that fucking experience. How good could the conversation have been? How good could the conversation have been when the greatest conversationalist of all motherfucking time wasn't there? How good could it have been? How good could it have been? How hearty could the laughter have been when the funniest woman of all time was not in the motherfucking building? Come on. Would you rather go see Kevin Hart or Dave Chappelle? Well, old Dave Chappelle. Would you rather go see Would you rather go see Kevin Hart or would you rather go see a taping of the Chappelle show, the original? How good could it have been? How amazing could it have been? And then it became, have a great time. Go out, go be free, go do what you like, go have a great time, go sleep with whomever you'd like to sleep with. That is your fucking prerogative. I don't feel bad and I don't feel jealous because I don't feel like it could really be that awesome. I don't. I'm sorry, I can't imagine the sex being that good. I really can't. I really, 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 really can't. And I think about the things that I know in terms of my friends who were sexually active and my friends, that I've had over the years who were the most promiscuous. I used to have a friend who was very sexually open and free and willing to participate with, various people and, different things like that. Of course, she's a devout Catholic today, which is not a shame. Just fucking hilarious. But anyway, she was so sexually active, but she wasn't having vaginal orgasms with her partners. She was having vaginal orgasms by herself, but she wasn't having vaginal orgasms with her partners. I say all of this to say the sex wasn't that fucking good. The casual sex, although there was an abundance of it, it wasn't that fucking good. And even if you are having the greatest orgasms and they are doing the most amazing things on planet Earth, I'm sorry. Better than me? Like, I just doubt it. Natalie, what are you saying? You just said that you don't have sex and I know what I know, and we don't have time for me to talk about the things that I know. But let's just say I find myself to be amazing, and I find myself to be fabulous, and I find myself to be magical, and I find myself to be very spiritual, and there's a movie. And it's not fair. I hate referencing this movie because when I reference this movie, it sounds like I watched the movie and then said, "Oh my God, this is me." But this was me before the movie came out. I was a magical conjured woman. I was a Scorpio since before Sinners came out. You don't understand. You don't understand. The movie was representation for me, not inspiration for me. So there's a film. And it is currently, historically, the film that has the most Oscar nominations in history. This film is called Sinners. It's written and directed by Ryan Coogler. Amazing film, wonderful film. And in this film, there is one character. Her name is Annie. She's a conjure woman. And in the beginning of this film, when Annie and Smoke are reuniting for the first time after a long period of absence and the passing of their child, they kind of have this intimate exchange, which, first of all, was so crazy. The first time that I saw Sinners, I had taken a Eddie and being in the fucking movie theater. Well, that shit is going down. I didn't know that it was going to be such a spiritual fucking movie. So being in the fucking movie theater, just as shit is starting to get fucking spiritual, the effects are hitting, and I'm literally sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Is this me or is this the movie? Oh my God. So anyway, there's a very spiritual experience. There's a difference being active, making love, having sex, engaging with a woman who is as magical as me is just a very different, unique experience. There's a lot of women in the world who practice magic. This is true. There is not a lot of women in the world who practice magic in the way that I practice magic. And when I say there's not a lot of women in the world who practice magic in the way that I practice magic, I mean there's not a lot of women who can do what I can do because it's really in me and not on me. And we don't have time for me to get into my examples. But all I can say is I can't imagine that it was that good. I'm sorry. There are men to this day who are stalking me and we've never even kissed. Is that because I deliberately did sex magic on them? No. That's because it's in me, not on me. There are men who will go the rest of their lives. They'll never get over me. They'll never get over me. And that's because the magic is in me, not on me. So when I say, do I think that, how good could it be? I mean, how good could it fucking be? Real shit. Can I be honest? Can I be honest on the Naked and Noisy podcast? Can I do that? Can I talk my shit? Can I be real? Beyonce has a song, she says, it don't get no higher than this. No. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I believe. And that's okay because this is my fucking reality. And I get to believe whatever I want. And as the listener, you should be the baddest bitch in your reality. I'm the baddest bitch in mine. Period. I want that for all of us. Amen? So it's a victimless crime to be the baddest bitch in your own mind, in your own reality. Amen? So anyway, I don't feel jealous and I don't feel envious and I don't feel like I wish that was me. I don't wish that that was me. I don't want casual, boring, ugly sex. I just don't want that. I want beautiful, deep, intimate, earth-shattering, kundalini awakening sex. You know what I'm saying? And that's just where I am in my life. So the journey of my connection, my relationship, and my perspective on this man, after the healing and after the processing and after the confirming to myself that I really do, in fact, believe that I'm the baddest bitch. Amen. Had to solidify that belief. Then I began to ask the question, what do I want? What do I want? Not just in terms of a relationship dynamic. I've been very clear on the relationship dynamic that I want. But what do I want? Like the type of man that I want. Yes, of course, I want the man that's trustworthy. Yes, of course, I want the man that's loyal. But going even deeper in that, it's like that shift of, well, wait a second. I want a man like me. I want a man that wants depth. And I want a man that wants intimacy. I want a man who has, if he does have a past of promiscuity, which isn't a crime. I want a man who has acknowledged that bottomless pit and who has also acknowledged that it's the soul that needs the surgery, not another vagina. You know? That realization of the kind of man that I want and the kind of character that he has. As somebody who has already realized and somebody who has already understood, I want depth with myself, and I want depth with other people, and I want intimacy with other people. And if I can't get depth and I can't get intimacy, then I don't want it. Because to be honest, the superficial shit is boring. And I'm sorry, I don't know how anybody else does it. I'm just not a superficial person. I'm just not living a superficial life. I'm Natalie Hughes. I'm a life mindset and manifestation coach. In my business and on my platform, I teach professional women how to create emotionally fulfilled and purpose-driven lives for themselves. What is emotional fulfillment? Emotional fulfillment is having your emotional needs met. You cannot be the emotionally fulfilled woman if you don't know how to identify how you feel. You cannot be the emotionally fulfilled woman and also be the superficial woman at the same time. You cannot be the emotionally fulfilled woman and be the emotionally avoidant woman at the same time. And so if I want to have an emotionally fulfilled life, and I want an emotionally fulfilled relationship and partnership, doesn't that make sense that I would also need to be in a relationship with a man who cares about emotional fulfillment? An orgasm does not create emotional fulfillment. Emotional fulfillment is created through depth and intimacy, first knowing oneself, and then being willing to share what you have discovered and reflected on within yourself with another human being. Being able to have a meeting of the minds with another human being. That's how you're going to create that emotionally fulfilled relationship. That's how you're going to create that emotionally fulfilled connection. So when it comes down to a man, the kind of man that's going to want that depth, the kind of man that's going to want a wife, the kind of man that's going to want to be in a committed relationship, he's the kind of man who reflects. He's the kind of man who actually cares about how he feels. When you care about how you feel, you don't just keep going on and on and on and on and on, even though you feel like shit. I care about how I feel so much, sometimes it feels like an inconvenience. Because I am unwilling to move forward if I'm not feeling it. And when I'm talking about feeling it, I don't just mean, oh, I'm tired today. I am unable to move forward. If it feels in my heart and in my soul like it's a no, I am unable to move forward. Just like when it comes down to sex, in my body, in my inner being, when I was going out with those guys, in my heart and in my soul, it felt like a no. I could not move forward. Even though I could be physically turned on, I could not move forward. Because this is a no for me. I don't feel this in my heart and I don't feel this in my soul. I don't, no, I'm not available for this. I don't want this. So when it comes to my scripting and it comes to my journaling and it comes to me tapping into the energy of my soulmate, I now understand that that characteristic that he absolutely has to possess is he has to give a damn about how he feels. And he has to be somebody who has self-respect. And for me, what that means is he can't be the kind of man who is willing to give any and every woman access to him. That's what self-respect looks like to me. Because every woman out there in the world does not want depth and intimacy. Every woman out there in the world has not reflected and gotten that level of intimacy and depth within herself. I actually feel like it's rare. And I'm not saying that you need to assume that it's hard. I'm not saying that you need to assume that it's impossible. When you vibrationally align to these kinds of people, they will come into your world. But on average, all of the people of the world, are they reflecting and understanding themselves and able to identify how they feel and able to identify what's alive within them? And are they able to bring that to you and have intimacy with you? Not really. And then when you are the person who wants intimacy, just because somebody is able to give you intimacy doesn't mean that their intimacy is going to be compatible with you. You're not going to love what's alive within every single woman on planet Earth. So a woman can be absolutely beautiful and wonderful and gorgeous, but if she's not giving you compatibility emotionally and depth and connection, that genuine, authentic connection, you're not going to move forward with her. You're not going to see her again. You're not going to date her. You're not going to have sex with her because it's a no. And so what my work looks like in my personal day-to-day life is now tapping into the energy and the vibration of the man who wants intimacy, the man who wants closeness, the man who requires depth, the man who wants to share what is alive within him with somebody who's willing to listen, the man who is looking for a woman who will understand him deeply and intimately. A man who is looking for a woman who makes him feel safe in the way that I am looking for a man who makes me feel safe. That's what that looks like for me. That's what that feels like for me. And that feels so good in my heart and in my soul and in my spirit. Because with everything that happened with the guy that we've been talking about, my question has been, how do I move forward? How do I move forward? How do I overcome this? How do I move past this? How do we potentially move past this? And I realized I can't let it go as long as I'm still holding on to that story, and as long as I still have that availability for an emotionally unavailable man in my life and in my world. I'm not making assumptions about who he is or who he isn't or who he can't be or how he can or cannot change. I'm talking about what I expect. There's a part of me that was open for emotionally unavailable. There's a part of me that when everything happened, I was like, of course this makes sense, and of course he would behave in this way, and of course this and this and this and this and this would happen because of this and this and this and this and this wound within him, and like all of this stuff. But then there was a fear within me of, and if this happens again, and if this happens again, and if this happens again, and I wonder if it will happen today. And I wonder if today will be the day. I wonder if today will be the day that he's dating somebody new. I wonder if today will be the day that I found out that he was dating 500 other new people this entire time. I wonder if today, you know what I'm saying? And how the fuck do I overcome that? Because that feels like shit to me, and I don't have time for that. So, of course, you know me, I'm praying and I'm talking and da-da-da-da-da. And my spirit guides just keep saying, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And I've been playing and going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. I used to believe men don't want relationships at all. Men are not emotionally available. Men don't want those things. Then I changed it. I'm like, no, I can see. I changed that belief. I could see men wanting relationships. I can see men wanting connection. But then I was struggling with that loyalty bit. How do I create a relationship dynamic where I know for sure there's not going to be cheating? What is my requirement there? Who is the man that doesn't cheat? Why am I the woman who doesn't cheat? What is that characteristic? What is that trait? What is that belief system? And this is what I've come to understand now. Because I'm not somebody who feels jealous and upset if my partner finds somebody else attractive. I don't care about that. The world is full of attractive people. You are bound to find somebody physically attractive. That doesn't mean anything to me. But how do I create a sense of safety and security within my relationship, whether it's with this man or somebody else? How do I create that feeling of safety and security? Well, you build relationships with people whose character aligns with and matches your own. The man who requires and values depth and connection. The man who reflects within himself. The man who is alive within, who recognizes what's alive within him. The man who can identify how he feels. That man is not going to throw away genuine, authentic connection for a measly orgasm. Those two things are not weighted the same, not even a little bit. The man who knows what's alive within himself and has genuine, authentic connection with you, who feels something with you that is so rare and that lights him up. There is nothing else that could compare to that sacred connection and bond. Nothing holds a candle to that. And it's so funny because I had a moment. It's so funny because there was a moment where I find out about the holiday hoobly wedding. And then I was like, oh, we're seeing other people? Perfect. And I met a man. And I was like, he's kind of fine. And then a couple weeks later, I end up seeing this man again. But it's after I've done some like moving through and forgiveness, and I'm feeling favorably towards the main guy. And after I see this guy, I go back into my house and I go, he was a lot hotter when I was mad at such and such. He was a lot more attractive when I was angry with such and such person. And I'm like, isn't that so funny? The kind of person that I am, when I feel emotionally involved and attached to one person, yes, I can acknowledge that people are attractive, but I don't feel connection or desire in that same way. Isn't that interesting? So the desire is to connect with somebody like me. The goal is to align with somebody like me and to let everything else go. And when I say let everything else go, I mean, obviously I have processed. Obviously I process emotions. Obviously I process feelings. Obviously that's what I've been doing this entire time. And so now I'm at a place where I can say, okay, I let the past go. Because the past doesn't feel triggering to me. The past doesn't feel overwhelming to me. The past doesn't feel, it doesn't bring up a whole bunch of shit within me. I can let it go. It served its purpose. It triggered old stories within me. I healed from those old stories. It took me deeper in my understanding of myself. It helped me gain even more clarity on what I want in connection. And I'm not saying that the guy from the holiday hoobly waddy can't be the guy that I want, or that he can't show up, or different things like that. I'm saying there's an openness. My job is to do one thing. My job is to tell the new story that I am connected with a man who requires depth and intimacy and closeness, who values love and genuine, authentic connection. My job is to tell the story that I'm connected with a man who requires emotional depth and intimacy. My job is to tell the story that I am connected with a man who desires to have meaningful sex exclusively. That's my job. That's it. That's all. And everything else gets to rearrange itself accordingly. Should that guy change his mind? Should that guy grow and expand? Should that guy already be grown and expanded? I don't fucking know. If things change and we align, fabulous, amazing, wonderful, perfect. If he chooses to continue to do what he did or whatever, or has done, or I don't know, that's on him. My job is to tell the new story. My job is to get clear on where I'm going. My job is to get clear on what I want. My job is to get clear on what I need. My job is to know who I am and to know where I'm going and to persist in my wish fulfilled until telling that new story feels normal and it feels expected and it feels like something that's obviously coming into my life. And that just feels like a subtle shift that just clicks things into place. That's my job. Worry about my side of the street. And believe and understand that he is a capable, competent man who can handle his life, or not, don't give a damn. Like, do I give a damn? Yes. Is it my responsibility? No. So do I give a damn? No. You know? That's the vibe. That's where I am. Okay? I hope that this helped you. I am actually going to literally add this. I'm going to embed this podcast episode inside of the Love After Loss course. I think I'm going to add it inside of the Drop the Defense training because it's a really good one. Because we did that module on trusting the trustworthy man. So we'll probably tag this onto the end of that because I feel like this is a really good mindset shift to just have in there, and it's something to play around with. Okay, so check out the Love After Loss course. Even though we're in the middle of the Receiver's Mindset launch, it's my business and I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I can talk about whatever offer I want whenever I want to talk about it. And today I really felt strongly to talk about love because I was praying on it and moving through it, and damn, that's a really good fucking answer, and it's a really good understanding. It's a really good knowing. It's a really good download to have received, and I'm glad that I got to share it with you. Okay, I love you, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.